This is Sean with Lightning Vapes, and today we are going to be rebuilding the Limitless RDTA. This thing is a monster, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Before we get started, things we're going to need. I'm going to be using the Complete Builders toolkit. We have a pair of wire cutters, flush wire cutters. You'll notice pliers, won't be needing those. The things out of this kit that we will be needing are the Universal Tools coil jig, some 3626 fused Clapton, cotton shears, ceramic tweezers, and that should be it. Oh, we'll also be using the Coilmaster 521 tab. This thing is pretty nifty to have, laying around. If you don't have one of these, a variable wattage mod will do pretty much the same thing. So, all right, let's dive down into it. So the first thing we're going to do is get this disassembled. So first we'll start by removing the top section. I want to unscrew this little sleeve. Okay, let's get that screwed on to 521 tab. And there we have it. Very easy to build. The only reason that I prefer this over the, say, Avocado 24 in kind of like a semi-Jenny style setup is because you don't have to disassemble the entire thing to get new wick into the channels and down into the juice chamber. So, okay, so I'm going to be using a 3mm bit on the Universal Tools coil jig. The Clapton wire, not as easy to make coils with as the round wire, where you can just kind of spin the top section around and make a nice coil. Kind of have to guide the fused Clapton. Anybody who's made this stuff knows that it has a propensity to twist during the manufacturing process. There, I'm gonna go for 6 wraps. Threw an extra wrap in because we're gonna take one of these wraps out, just to make sure that the coil is nice and even. There we have it. Okay, so most folks should be familiar with this velocity style deck. Okay, there we go. We're going to try to get that leg out of the way of the wicking channel right there. That should be pretty good. Looks pretty good. I got so excited I almost forgot to dry burn these coils before I started wicking. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Yeah, you saw a little bit of a pop of that pop right there was a little bit of wick. Okay, those are looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and strum the coils, just to make sure they're oxidizing where they should be. The backside coil's getting a little bit more heat, attention, and love than the one closest to us. So let's just make sure that all of these leads are nice and tight in their channels. That's a lot more evenly dispersed. Fantastic. Alright, now it's time for wicking. Alright, so it's at this point that I would normally break out the cotton bacon. However, I decided to give Nativewicks Platinum a shot in this build. Typically, I still prefer the cotton bacon over the Nativewicks. You know, my personal preference. The packaging with the cotton bacon is more intelligent. However, the flavor off this Nativewicks is slightly noticeably better. Maybe it's because of a synthetic rayon blend inside the wick. I'm not sure. It's a little bit trickier to work with, but all in all, it's a great product. Okay, that appears to be sufficient. You want a couple inches on either side of that coil, because these legs are going to have to make it all the way down to the bottom of the juice chamber there. It's better to have too much than not enough. Okay, I kind of eyeball the measurement that we're going to need here. You can fold the legs down, see where they'd rest about comfortably. At the bottom, go ahead, just snip there. Now, it's optional if you want to give this a shot. You may want to thin out the wicks a bit. The only reason I say that is, the more cotton equals less juice. You don't have as much room for juice. You want as much room for juice as possible. So what you could do is fan out the cotton a bit and cut diagonally towards the coil, leaving make sure it doesn't start thinning out until after it's already into the juice channel. Alright, so that looks pretty darn good. Okay, so once you have everything nice and tucked in, it should look like that. Again, you don't have to thin out the wicks. It's my personal preference. If you don't feel comfortable, or if you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. Luckily, it takes a lot less time to wick with this than it does to build the coils. So we're going to try to push the cotton into those channels as much as we can now. We're not going to worry too much if things are hanging out a bit, because we're going to install the cylinder back, and this will help kind of dictate where all of that goes. And we can play with the rest a little bit later. Make sure you're not cross-threading. Okay, and there we have it. Make sure we fluff up the cotton on either side of the coil. It looks like I have a little bit stuck in those threads. Okay, so the trick to these guys is a lot like the theorem, is to get the wicks nice and primed with some juice, and then create space in between the wicking channel and the cotton. Just a little bit of place, somewhere for the air to escape and for new juice to fill those wicks. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a moment. Alright, looks like it's time to change the battery in this 521 tab. Starting to drop below 3.2 volts when fired. So, at this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take Allen wrench that comes with the unit. That works nice. You could use ceramic tweezers, anything you want. Towards the front, just so you can monitor it. Towards the front, just kind of push the wick back towards the post a little bit and create this little itty bitty hole, this little pocket. That's going to do is it's going to allow juice to more freely flow to the wick, and you'll have less issues with wicking. I wish somebody had taught me that when I first started messing with Jennies. There's a lot of Genesis style atomizers that I chucked at the wall just because I couldn't get them to wick. I thought they were trash. These are terrible. And here it is a couple years later, and I love them now. So it's a little difficult to see, but you can see that if I slide my Allen wrench in, hit the bottom comfortably, I'm not having to pack anything. Everything's already pretty well packed. Thinning out the wicks below this point should have also aided in that channel staying. Now you can optimize this to your preference. You can close them off a little bit more. You can open them a bit more. It doesn't really matter. So I have this in Canthal mode. I also need to change the batteries on that too. I have this in Canthal mode. We're going to start it out at 80 watts and work our way up and see what we get. We'll be using some Strawberry Stratus out of our Max VG line. There, we have it. We are full up. Let's get our cap back on. Run the airflow at about, say half. Let's see what happens. Yeah, excellent flavor. Drippers and Jennies, you're not going to get better flavor. There's a couple bottom fed tanks that come close, really close, but at the end of the day, that's just delicious. Now let's crank that up to, I feel safe going all the way to 120. It's a very cool vape on 80 watts with that particular build. We're ohming out at a 0.22. Yeah, heck, I'll go with 125. Oh man, that's a machine. That is a machine. 125 is molten lava, so be careful. I enjoy molten lava, so I don't mind, but you might. Just use discretion. I'm going to take a few more consecutive pulls, see if I can get this thing to dry hit, but I should not be able to. Whew. Yep, I've got a buzz. Oh, no dry hits. You kind of want to tilt it when you vape. You don't want to just vape it as if it were a bottom fed tank, because it will not be pleasant. That is one good way to get dry hits. It may keep up. Just general rule of thumb. Genesis style atomizers, I always tilt when I vape to ensure that the wicks are getting proper juice flow. But this thing is a beast, and that's beautiful. Another look at those coils. They're staying nice and fresh there. They're not going to get dry. The deck isn't going to get too saturated. I'm going to manual focus here. There we go. And I'm going to manual focus here again. That's just beautiful. That's delicious vape. The flavor is incredible, and that's all there is to say about that. On the iJoy Limitless RDTA, all the products you've seen here, the juice, the toolkit, everything can be found in the description. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful. As always, keep calm and vape on.